Well, I'm Dr. Sanjay Manchalda. I'm chairman and head of the Department of Sleep Medicine at Sir Gangaram Hospital, New Delhi. The topic that we will be discussing today is insomnia. And the thing is, as far as I am concerned, I prefer to call it dysomnia because it is not total lack of sleep, it is poor quality of sleep, which is the most important issue on that. Because for the simple reason that insomnia means a total absence of sleep, and if a person doesn't sleep for 8 to 10 days, it is incompatible with life. So it's actually a broken and fragmented sleep, which we call as insomnia, and there can be many different ways of saying about insomnia. Like the first is that, okay, you do not sleep. Second is that you are sleepy but not able to sleep. Third, that you toss and turn in the bed for a long period to take a shot of sleep, and it is an easily broken sleep. And fourth is like you sleep late and you get up late. So everything is being put into the same substance for as far as patients are concerned, that I have insomnia, I cannot sleep. So first is because these all ailments, these all ways of say insomnia or dysomnia, they are to be treated in a separate manner. Because if you don't have a if there's a total lack of sleep, you need a different medication. If there is say problem with the broken sleep, the thing is then the medicine is different. If you have a lot of dreamy sleep, then again it is different. So we have to first understand the actual problem the patient is facing, and that is where the crux of the situation is, because there is not one single drug which will help everybody. Now, having said that, I'd like to make a small quote, and that is, it's a wonderful quote, that is, if sleep does not perform an absolutely vital function, then perhaps this is the biggest mistake the evolutionary process has made. Because we spent 8 hours, almost out of 23, that is 1/3 of our lives in this area, and if it did not have any purpose, then it's a waste of time. But nature is not unkind, because this is the area where we rejuvenate our body, where muscles are regenerated, where memory is consolidated, where your immune system is getting better. So as a result, the thing is a very, very vital part, and a lot of diseases that we sleep that we see during the day practice, their seeds are sown in the sleep, including high blood pressure, including cardiac diseases, including strokes, including daytime sleepiness, accidents, roadside and industrial accidents. Around 30 to 35% would happen because of sleep deprivation. So it is very important to understand. And if somebody asks me what is the criteria of a good sleep, and the simplistic version would be that if your day is good, your night was good. But having said that, it depends upon the 3 vital things. One is the regularity of sleep. That is, if we are regular with our sleeping patterns, we will have a better sleep. Second is the total duration, which might be different from in 6 to 8% of the, basically it could be, say, like duration could be 6 to 8 hours of sleep, depending upon the person. And third is, of course, the sleep architecture, that how much is the light sleep, how much is the deep sleep, how much is the dreamy sleep, do you have any abnormal movements in the legs during sleep. So all these things are to be understood, and then we go for a full-fledged treatment. And there are times when, to understand this thing, we need to do a sleep study to understand all these parameters and see that what is the actual thing which is hurting the patient most. And then we treat that particular area, because there is no one quick fix that will be given to all the patients and everybody is having the same kind of medication. No. It is very important to understand what kind of sleep disorder, because there are more than 80 sleep disorders. So, and they could be manifested in multiple ways. It could manifest in the form of snoring and sleep apnea, that is stoppages of breath during sleep. It could be pure insomnia. It could be, say, restless leg syndrome. It could be narcolepsy. So the whole gamut of things are there. So we have to understand what the patient is suffering from, and only then we can make a judgment on it. And then we can treat the patient correctly, and most of the things are treatable. Now, the thing is, as far as the lifestyle is concerned, it's a very, very important thing, because one is, today India is the world capital of call centers. So all our youth, they are basically working during the night, and the day sleep can never fulfill the body in the manner the night sleep would. So the thing is, slowly we are becoming a sleep deprived society. And as a society also, we are sleeping at least 2 hours less than our predecessors were doing it around 80 to 100 years ago. Because today our days are 24-hour days with the advent of artificial light. Now it is very important that we do some kind of a small kind of sleep hygiene points that we need to discuss. Number one is go to bed only when you are feeling sleepy. Don't go to bed for sleeping, because bed is not a sleeping pill. Second is that whatever time you sleep, your wake up time should be common, so that it doesn't alter your internal brain activity to a different station. Third is that you do not remove the clock. If you are having a problem with insomnia, remove the clock from your bedroom. Because if you are awake and on the bed, every 5 minutes you'll be looking into the clock, because everybody else is already sleeping. And fourth is, the thing is, we need to understand that the excess use of the screens in the form of mobile phone, in the form of iPads, laptops, TVs. The thing is, these all equipment, they emit a light, what we call as a blue light. And a blue light is something which has got the same frequency as that of sunlight. So the brain perceives it as a day. So you keep on breaking, and even the smallest tinkle you will pick up as a reflex to see what has come. So it is important that if you are not in an emergency business like either doctors or police, then you should better charge your phone. You first switch off your phone and charge it in another room, so that you do not have any disturbances. Don't keep your phone next to yourself. Second is that if you watch television, you should be able to switch off the television around 40 minutes before stipulated time of sleep, because what happens is sleep is coming, and if you are seeing some interesting program, we delay it. By that time the sleep cycle goes away, and as a result, the thing is the next will come after 1.5 hours. So again, this will form into a category of insomnia. Then the thing is, do not overexert yourself after 6 p.m. because for sleeping you require a relaxed body, not a tired body. No tea or coffee after 6 p.m., especially if you are having the problem of insomnia or related conditions. And lastly, you can take a shower before the bedtime. It will help you. So these are the hygiene points which we can do it without any medication. And as a result, it will improve the quality of sleep. And if you are doing a regular meditation kind of a thing, your sleep requirement goes down. That is why the yogis can do the same function in 4 hours of sleep, what the other person might be needing 8 hours of sleep. So it is something which we need to understand. Every body is different, every body's physiology is different, and we need to respect the body. As they say that we can fight and win many wars, but if we try to fight our biology, we are likely to lose it. So essentially, we are all fighting a losing battle. So it's important that we understand the problem. It is important to avoid the other kind of ailments, and we will basically be a healthy society if we sleep well.